Von Stevenson says the millions of dollars transferred between three companies linked to Mr. Holness raises several concerns. He has called on Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, and the Financial Investigations Division, FID, to probe the company's accounts for potential irregularities. According to the report, Mr. Holness is connected with or had financial interests in three companies: Imperium, Positive Media, and Estate Bridge. Imperium is wholly owned by Mr. Holness and is a holding vehicle for his assets. A forensic examination of accounts attributed to Mr. Holness and the referenced companies for January 1, 2020 to June 13, 2023 revealed intercompany deposits and withdrawals in excess of $470 million and $427 million, respectively. According to Mr. Stevenson, the transfers are not supported by the apparent capital generated. But Mr. Chung questions the veracity of this claim.
And I'm trying to figure out what the relevance of that finding is, because transactions can move between accounts based on, liquidating one asset, getting a loan, setting it up somewhere else, and set it up somewhere else for use. So, for example, Positive Jamaica, I understand, is a foundation, and you might want to move money from a foundation to another account, which is an investment account, to do transactions. Particularly when I look at Table 6, which is the assets, liabilities, and income held by Mr. Holness, you don't really see any significant positive movement in it. You see that there's movement between US dollar assets and Jamaican dollar assets, but the total of it, it doesn't seem as if there's any significant increase in assets.
The chartered account.
Top of the morning, everybody. Sir Peter Bunting, good morning.
Good morning, Colin. How are you? Good morning to your listeners.
Well, I am not so good, I am confused and worried about my beautiful island home of Jamaica. We were just listening to a nationwide news clip and we heard Dennis Chung. Sounds to me like the Prime Minister's lawyer.
Well, Dennis has been a consistent apologist and defender of Andrew Holness and the JLP. He's one of those hypocrites who portray themselves as a commentator, public commentator, political commentator, and being independent. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the pattern of his interventions, they are all one-sided. They're all defending Andrew Holness and the JLP.
No, Senator, the FID, some people are of the opinion that it is a arm of the JCF. Is it?
No, it falls under the Ministry of Finance, but it is an important law enforcement agency in the architecture of law enforcement in Jamaica.
Right. So it has nothing to do with the JCF then?
The JCF is one of the agencies that cooperate with the FID. So all law enforcement and intelligence agencies in Jamaica, whether the JCF, military intelligence, customs enforcement, PICA, the immigration, MOCA, they would all coordinate on their intelligence gathering and on investigations, on complex investigations.
Let me put an hypothetical to you. Let's say Dennis Chung had the 12 years in the security forces as an investigator. Let's say he was a lawyer, so he had a law degree and his chartered accountant degree. And he had made the statements about the Prime Minister's filing with the Integrity Commission. Would those statements, with all the qualification necessary, would those statements still disqualify him from being the head of the FID at this time?
Absolutely. Those are prejudicial statements. Those are statements showing his bias. So to put him in charge of the agency to do those investigations. And let me just pause and say those are not ordinary investigations. it's probably the most important investigation that the FID could possibly have. And therefore, I mean, both the investigation into the offense of illicit enrichment by the Prime Minister and the investigation of SSL both have enormous international implications for our reputation, including, by the way, us remaining off the grey list or the blacklist of the Financial Action Task Force, which has huge implications for banking and financial transactions.
Tell me something, Senator Bunting. You have been a parliamentarian, you have been the Minister of National Security on this island. You have the experience. Could the Services Commission choose a commissioner of police without the Prime Minister approving of it, of that person?
That is highly unlikely. The truth of the matter is they're hiding behind the Services Commission right now. But the Services Commission would not have come up with the job description and the minimum qualifications for both academic and professional experience. These would have been developed by the ministry. And this big hypocrisy about, we followed process. You can design a process to give you a particular outcome.
Yes.
So if you follow a corrupt process, that is not an excuse for or not a justification for saying we follow the process. It is a corrupt process. We know the earlier ads for the post had more appropriate qualifications. We also know, and listen out over the next couple of days, we also know that there were applicants who met those qualifications.
Because you one of my questions, Senator Bunting, because I was going to ask if we know of any of the other persons who had applied.
I am certain that there were other applicants who met the qualification.
Tala. And Dennis Chung, by your knowledge of Dennis Chung, have no experience in law enforcement in investigating financial crimes.
Absolutely none. And in fact, the JLP is peddling a lie that he has experience or he has qualifications in forensic accounting. Dennis has no qualifications in forensic accounting. And I challenge them to publish any certificate that he has to the contrary.
And as far as we know, no experience in ever investigating any financial crimes.
Absolutely. In fact, Dennis has been the subject of investigations by the Office of the Country General, resulting in his having to resign from the board and the procurement committee of the JUTC.
Tell us
back
about
in
that.
2008.
Give us some details about that, because I heard you brought it up yesterday in another interview.
All right, let me find an article quickly as I'm talking to you. See if I can pull up something.
Well, I think I have
from the
something
time.
from the article.
2008, of course, is a long time ago. So you will understand that my memory of it is going to be not precise. But here's an article I just pulled up. December 6, 2008. Gleaner, lead stories. Resignations hit JUTC board. Procurement trio walk. Chung, Sangster, and Barrett. The expected fallout from the latest scandal at the JUTC, this is the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, started yesterday with the resignation of 3 board members and the acting president going on leave. Ray Barrett, Dennis Chung, and Bindley Sangster tendered their resignations to Transport Minister Mike Henry yesterday, hours after the JUTC board admitted that there were several breaches of the government's procurement guidelines at the state-owned bus company. The three men were members of the procurement committee of the JUTC and had been wrapped on the knuckles by contractor General Greg Christie for failing to take action to ensure that the bus company awarded contracts fairly. And I could go on and on, but I will send you the article.
We can seize there because I just showed the article on the screen to some of my viewers as well. Now,
okay.
Senator Bunting, Dennis Chung is supposed to take up office Monday morning. If he takes up that position Monday morning, what are the options, or what is it that the People's National Party is going to be doing or thinking of doing?
Well, there are a number of options, of protest options.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, street protests would be at the top of the agenda. And we're not talking about stopping people from going about their business or blocking roads.
Right.
That's
definitely
not what we're talking about. We're talking about peaceful protests where persons come out to demonstrate that enough is enough. And it's time to rescue Jamaica from this corrupt regime. The audacity, the dry eye approach of the Prime Minister to appoint somebody who will, who has already come out and stated their position on his investigation as the person to lead the agency investigating him is really an embarrassment and is really an insult to the people of Jamaica. And I don't think they're going to allow this to just go so. So the PNP is going to provide leadership, but we are not alone. All well-thinking Jamaicans are appalled by this brazen, corrupt appointment made by the Andrew Holness government. It may be favor or the Services Commission that is the hand, But as you know in the Bible, it says the hand is the hand of Esau, but the voice is the voice of Jacob. And there